All right, so a pleasant way to say good morning and welcome to Focus on Liberia Television. We are live here from the grounds of the Temple of Justice. We've come to speak with Mr. Kpayoun Phillip Wakocco. Mr. Kpayoun Phillip Wakocco is the lead campaigner and spokesperson of a group of Liberian, the group of Sarpo People who have sued the government of Liberia, specifically the central bank, for allegedly excluding the name of the tribe name and symbol and cultural symbol from the newly printed 1,000 Liberian banknotes that were printed by the Central Bank of Liberia. The group of Sarpo People have taken that case to the civil law court. They are demanding that their cultural heritage be represented on the banknotes. And the case is before the court. I'm told there was a hearing yesterday, so we've come to speak with him to tell us exactly how did they go and why are they to the court. So once again, Mr. Kpayoun Phillip Wakocco, welcome to the US-based Focus on Liberia Television. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay.
Well, yes.
So tell us, why are you here?
We are here because we want to set historical records straight. The Sarpo People, as an ethnic group in Liberia, according to researchers and all of historians, settled in this territory called Liberia from 1550.
Okay.
Yes, the Sarpos, the Crowns, the Rebels, the crossed the Sassandra River in the Ivory Coast into present-day Liberia in 1550. That's in fact 300 years before they come here, the settlers. Over 300 years before they come here, the settlers that wrote their books. And when they wrote their history books, they left out our name. We're not recorded in their list of so-called 16 tribes. But that history was made, was set straight, records were set straight. From the 2008 census, we were captured as a tribe with a population of 43,327.
The Sarpo was captured as a tribe?
Yes.
Okay.
We were captured as a tribe with a population of 43,327. In fact, all the people who are tribes today in Liberia that they call tribes, their numbers are far less. Take, for example, the Dane people. Their population is 11,000, a little over 11,000. The Bellas, a little over 26,000. Those two tribes combined can't even reach our numbers. And yet, the state is saying we are not a tribal group. And their reliance is that because we are in Sano County and Grangita County. And we know that all the tribes in Liberia, they are in fact in more than 2 counties. Like for example, the Pellas, the Basos are in Rebel Hills, they are in Grand Basso, they are in McGibbon, they are in Monserrado, the Cruz are in Maryland. So they are in Sino, they are in Grand Cruz, they are in Rebel Hills. Why are you excluding us? So this exclusion, that's why we brought to court.
Okay, so now you are before the court. What do you want? What exactly are you praying for?
Oh, we're praying for declaratory judgment so that our rights, the recognition of all the tribes will be restored. So that it will not be the opinion of, some people in their offices when they are making policies that they will ignore historical records.
What is the importance of your tribe name, maybe symbol or stuff like that, being included on the 1,000 note, which according to you, all other tribes are represented? What is the important?
I think it's very important because, firstly, it gives you a sense of belonging.
Okay.
That Liberia is your country. That banknote in question is such a national artifact with historical significance, and so including all other tribes on there, I think we deserve to be there. We are not begging. We deserve to be there. That's our right to be there. The same rights that were given to all of us should be given to us, for God's sake. For far too long, the issue has been with the Sarpo people. So if our generations before they didn't do that, my generation is saying no. This must be corrected. And thank God, the Ministry of Education has updated its history and service curricula to include the Sarpo as a 70th tribe. of Liberia.
As we speak, the service book records 17 tribes.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and I can reference you to the 5th grade, copy
Of the service book.
Of the service book on page 11, in fact.
Okay. Now we're going to come to that deeper. But when did you realize that your tribe or group were not identified or was not identified on the 1,000 note? When did you realize that? When did you see that?
We realized that last year when the bank brought the money into the country and started to do civic education, messages through radios, through newspapers, explaining the symbols that were used on the money. And in the explanation, they said the 16 tribes on the $1,000 banknote represent, or the 16 marks on the $1,000 banknote represent the 16 tribes of Liberia. When we heard that, we were shocked. And we wrote to the central bank governor, informing him about the error, what we thought was an error. So we informed him, we wrote in the first letter, the first communication on the 18th of November 2022. He did not respond. We wrote a second letter on the 30th of November. He didn't respond. We went to the Gonglo associate law firm to ask them or to complain. They wrote a letter on the 20th of December 2022. Those communications has been completely ignored by the central bank, so this is no longer an error. It's not an error.
Did you meet the central bank governor himself? Maybe you walked to your office since you were not responding to your letters, and ask for an audience with him to actually understand. Maybe this was an oversight, and they could have sort it out a better way. Maybe before coming, rather than coming to the court.
In fact, I don't want to go into details of this case because already before the court.
Yeah, I know that. We just
okay, but in our communication with the central bank, we asked for audience.
Okay.
We asked for audience to see how the issue can be resolved, and he refused. So I think it's a deep, deep-seated kind of discrimination that institutions within the Liberian government are carrying out.
Maybe this case could be an eye-opener because this morning we are going live and we're talking about 17th tribe of Liberia. This might be new to many Liberians. Even some schools administrators may not know that. Even some of us in the media, some journalists may not know that. You said the Ministry of Education has revised the curriculum and the 17th tribe is now included in the educational curriculum. That is the 17th tribe is a Sarpo tribe, making the first 16 tribes 17.
Yeah.
Do you think the Senate Bank was not aware of that? Is that why they took the kind of decision?
What we now know is that they refused. My brother, let me just say this to you. Mm-hmm. All knowledge is provisional and subject to change based on research and technology. We have been teaching 16 tribes in the country when I started school. In the 70s, when I started school, we were teaching 16 tribes. Now that we have new variable in the population, Sarpo has been added. The Ministry of Education has done her part to update their curriculum. In fact, those books now have been distributed across all public schools in the Republic of Liberia, in fact, including private schools. So it is incumbent upon us as policymakers to always make research and see what is new before coming up with such policies.
Do you think the bank is feeling guilty of an error, an irreparable error? That's why they are not. They didn't listen to your communication, which brought you to the court. Do you think that's something you're sensing?
I don't know. I don't want to call it arrogance. I don't want to call it regret. But I know that they know that what they have done, it undermines national unity. It undermines, it undermines our sense of belongingness to this nation. And we have made tremendous contributions to the development of the state. Take, for example, the Sarpo National Park. The government is generating resources from is on our land. 98% of that park is being occupied by Sarpo people. before they came and took it. So we're making tremendous contribution to the growth and development of Liberia.
Okay, I'm told you appeared before the court, the judge, for hearing the two lawyers, IQ, your lawyer and a defense lawyer. How was it yesterday? What was the concluding point?
What I can tell you, because of the case is in court, and I will not be discussing the details of the case.
Yeah.
But the judge reserved ruling, and we are waiting for the ruling.
I'm told the defense lawyer argued that the case should be dismissed simply because you do not have a ground to sue, because you are not stationed.
Again, I don't want to go into the details of the case.
Okay.
But if that argument is something that they made, then I don't know who's supposed to sue for a group of people whose rights are violated if they cannot sue for themselves as a group.
Okay, the judge reserved ruling. How soon do you expect it to come up with an opinion?
In fact, I want it to be done quickly. In fact, by next week probably.
Just in case the petition for dismissal is honored by the judge, will you be flying to the Supreme Court?
Exactly. We'll go to the Supreme Court so that we can get our rights.
Has there any historical trend where the Sarpo people been marginalized? Can you reference any time in history that? Because from what I'm sensing, dating way back in the 50s that you mentioned that this tribe in Liberia and now been captured as an ethnic group, it tells me that something may have happened in the past, except for now. I'm being told, I myself, let me admit that I've been told that the Sarpo is making up the 16 trap up to 17 traps now. So can we trace any historical trend where this tribe, your tribe, have been marginalized?
Yes.
In the Liberian society?
Firstly, according to research, the first group of people that came to this country to even write about the early tribesmen were themselves not ethnographers, were not dialectologists, and they were, they just write things that they saw. For example, the first ethnographer who came to this country to write about early tribesmen went into the interior Liberia in 1914. And he could not go beyond present-day Bopolu because of the challenges that he faced. Probably that has been with the Sarpo people. But now, government from time past, like take for example the 1974 census, because the first time Liberia had census was in 1962. The second census was in 1974.
Yeah.
In that 74 census, they were looking at the characteristics of females from age 15 to 49 in a childbearing group, by tribe, by education, and I think by tribe and education I can remember. They say they went and put their crew/Sarpo. Up to today, I'm wondering what that's supposed to mean. And when you go to Sino, you ask the crewman how many tribes make up Sino, they will tell you crew and Sarpo. You go to Grand Gide, they will tell you about the Sarpo people. So those things have been there from the 74 census to the 84 census to the 1986 Liberia Housing and Demographic Survey. Those records are there. So it's just that these things, we've been fighting them. It's just an opportunity for us to set it straight today.
Since it's been a very long time, what are your hopes that it's going to be settled this time around?
Yes.
That Liberians will know that, because this is, like I said, this is an eye-opener, this is strange.
Yeah.
That Liberians will know that we have 17 tribes, and the number of tribes, the one that makes it 17 is a Sarpo. How hopeful are you that this case is going to go your way?
We know that the judges or the judge will do the right thing, because I know he himself belongs to a tribe, and he knows that belonging to a tribe and belonging to Liberia gives him an enormous sense of belongingness to the state. And so we too, being captured, having something to rely on, like the census report, like the statement made by Dr. William C. Allen, who is an authority on Liberian history and the chairman of the Bicentennial. The statement that he made that Liberia has recorded a 17th tribe and Sarpo is that tribe are sufficient grounds. Just to rule in our favor.
Just in case the courts in Liberia failed you, because the final operator will be the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Just in case any ruling that will go against you is being upheld,
yeah.
but the court, the Supreme Court? What could be your next move?
I think, in my mind, the Supreme Court, in its wisdom, will not want to make a group of citizens of the country stateless. Because by ruling that the central bank was right to exclude us, in all of what you are saying, we are not a tribe, we belong to a different set of people. I don't think the Supreme Court, in its wisdom, will be looking at that. Even if it does, then we live in a community of nations.
Okay.
We have the United Nations Commission on Human Rights. We have the European Union Commission on Human Rights. We have the ECOWAS Commission on Human Rights. We have the AU Commission on Human Rights. These are bodies that we'll call upon, and so that they can help us to resolve our issue with our government. Because the Sarpo people are a peaceful people. We are peace-loving people. We are not disgruntled people. That's why we decided that this thing should be handled by institutions established by the state, which are the courts.
Now that it is before the court, have you any plan to maybe inform some of those international bodies you talk about, the United Nations High Commission on Human Rights, and maybe some of the embassy near Monrovia? Have you planned to write them formal communication informing them of your case and where are you now before anything goes either against you or in your favor?
Yes, we plan to do that so that they will take notice of what's happening.
Okay.
So that they will take notice of what's happening, because this is a human rights case.
How many are you in this case? You started with your colleagues. I just saw one other person joining you. So how many are you?
This is CRC Chen. CRC Chen is a co-campaigner. He's also a member of the group campaigning. Okay. There is those Sarpo have 6 sections. Okay. We have the Kabade, the Simpon, the Weja, the Mopo, the Putu, and Joazon. So this person is Musa Emerson Seri. He's the youth chair for the Kabade youth.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so, what is this thing about the Sarpo people? I mean, I was asking one of the Yoga Chamber. Let me be a little bit personal. I've called the legislature, and most times you see the tension between Matthew Zaza, current lawmaker for District 3. He's outgoing now because he didn't win the Senate seat, and then upcoming Senator Milton Church as well with this Sarpo recruiting. What is it?
Yeah, I think those guys have their own personal view.
Okay.
Because what we are discussing now today is purely a cultural matter.
Okay.
Yes, it has to do with culture.
Okay.
Of politics.
Okay, yeah, before we leave for you, that was my next question. Liberia is a highly political society. I mean, politics entrenched to the extent that everything we do, we have to politicize it. So with this cultural case, have you any fear that it might be politicized, thereby political will prevailing over a cultural matter, and then it just be basis as usual, and the Sarpo people will not get the kind of judgment they want? Have you any fear of such?
Yeah, you see, because we want to detach the case from politics, that's why we didn't even go to our legislature.
Okay.
Some people will say, oh, but why don't you guys go to the legislature? But there's no evidence that there's an act in Liberia that was passed by the legislature to create a tribe. To create a tribe. So we cannot be the one going to them say come and pass law and make our people a tribe. What's happening between Honorable Zaza and Honorable Tege, I think it's personal. It has nothing to do with our tribal case. It's a cultural matter. We've been discriminated against, and that's why we came to the court, so that we will get our rights restored.
Okay, finally, as we tell you, for then we'll go to your colleague and talk to him for 1 or 2 minutes. We'll close up. Now that you have, I saw a lot of documents with you, map from way I think 1950 or so, 1862 map I saw in your possession, and even the first geography book that was written where the Sarpo tribe is mentioned, and currently the civics book that I saw with you where the 17th tribe is listed and Sarpo is one of them. What would be your recommendation to the Ministry of Education, even though the book, the revision was done by the Ministry of Education, but I'm not too sure that Liberians are aware and informed about this. What could be your recommendation in terms of awareness and sensitization, so that our kids can know? I mean, not many schools, I stand to be corrected, not many schools teaching 17 tribe. I'm sure Most schools teach in the 16th tribe rather. What could be a recommendation?
Yeah, I think it's a process.
Okay.
Getting the information out to our people is a process. We know there are challenges because of people own, level of understanding issues. Or maybe they are called up because of the travel connections and all of that kind of thing, or mere ignorance and failing to adjust to the updated information that will happen in our country now. So I would recommend that the ministry do our best, so that schools can teach the lesson that is being provided by those books, so that the vice president for instruction at various schools will be checking history and civil lesson plans to see whether what they are teaching is consistent with the new information that we have. We know that it's a challenge because when people are used to a particular thing to change it for them, it's hard, particularly us in Liberia. But I hope that this issue can be put to rest, and I want to tell the authority of the Ministry of Education, thank you for honoring the census data and updating the curriculum to reflect the change in the variables in the Liberian population.
Thank you so much. Just speaking for 1 minute too, so that we can wrap up. Your name just for 1 or 2 minutes.
I'm CRC Chen.
Okay, and you the co-campaigner.
Co-campaigner.
Okay, your lead campaigner has spoken, but is there 1 or 2 things you want to add as we close up?
Oh yes, we have talked about everything that we should have talked about here. However, I think if you follow the Liberian politics, most often people jump in the street to demonstrate. But the Sarpo people have decided to do the most appropriate thing to have to find redress to this abuse. Abuse of our right, our identity that is in question, that is threatened, especially by the Republic of Liberia. Because when the Justice Ministry is involved without remorse of conscience and stated in one of the counts that Sarpo is found in Grand Gide and Salo County, so therefore we are fragmented people and we cease to exist. That statement alone is discriminatory and worry us to go to the Human Rights Court. That is, they have gone against the United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People. In Article 7, Article 8, Article 39, and Article 17 of the UNDRRP, that we have the right to self-identity. Sarpo people have the right to self-identity. So if their identity is in question, is threatened in the state, then the most appropriate action is to come to the court. There are many actions that the Sarpo people are anticipating taking, but the most appropriate action is the court. If the court fail the Sarpo people in this country, that means they are threatening our peace. And we have what? If our born identity is threatened, we have the right to defend ourselves in this country. Sarpo people have the capacity to defend themselves.
How do you do that?
The most appropriate thing is to come to the court.
So just to get the court feels, how do you do that self-defense?
Yeah, the self-defense, number one thing, if they want to take the political side, we can put ourselves disobedient in the Sarpo land. Completely. Because if you make us stateless, if we are stateless in the country, what will we do?
Okay.
That means
and I hope we shouldn't reach that far.
That land, the Sarpo land, the entire Sarpo land, will be sealed up.
I hope we
and that until we can seek redress through the law.
Thank you, sir. What is your name again?
I'm CRC Chen.
Thanks so much, Mr. Chen. Okay, folks, my name is Prince. Thanks for following us. We've been here in conversation with a group of Liberian citizens. Have come from the Sarpo tribe. They have filed a lawsuit against the government of Liberia, specifically the Central Bank of Liberia, for, according to them, for an alleged exclusion of the name of the Sarpo tribe, and it's simple from the newly printed 1,000 Liberian dollar banknote that was printed by the Central Bank of Liberia. They have provided me so many historical facts, both that are sold Liberia currently now has 17 tribes, 17 ethnic groups, and one of those ethnic groups is the Sarpo tribe or the Sarpo ethnic group. But according to them, the exclusion of their name is just a form of discrimination, and they are coming to the court, the civil law court, praying the court for the court to ensure that there is a judgment in their interest, to ensure that our cultural heritage is restored. They say if the court doesn't rule in their favor, they're going to go to the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court doesn't do it, they're going to go to other international courts. They're going to write the UN Higher Commission on Human Rights and other international partners to look into their case. So I've been speaking with the lead campaigner, Mr. Kpayoun Phillip Wakocco, and also his co-campaigner and other citizens from the Sarpo land. Thanks for following us. We're going to follow this case to the letter. It's one of the cases that we have interest in. My name is Prince. This is Focus on Liberia. Thanks for joining us. Do join us another time for another live broadcast under that time. My name is Prince. Bidding you bye-bye. I'm out.